Welcome to another episode of Untold Horror Stories from Middle School. That's what I'm gonna name this series, okay? Again, I tried recording this, and I was 6 minutes in, and it didn't record. This is the story of my first girlfriend in middle school. Yeah. You might be thinking, oh, Xenia, you got cheated on twice in middle school by men. Men are cheaters and liars. So are women, girl. Just buckle in because this is going to be a very interesting podcast episode. I don't know. It's just chisme. Why do we have to put a label to it? Damn. Something she would say. Sit down, okay? Because this is going to get serious. So, let's give you context. Back then, right, Instagram was booming, period, right? When you would date someone, you would put the date you started dating on your bio, Instagram bio, Facebook bio, whatever it was. It was present and everyone knew, okay? This was the date, okay? Ours was 11, 12, 14, okay? That sequence of numbers to this day makes me flinch. Number 12th of 2014. Yeah, 2014. For more context, in 2014 I was in 8th grade, okay? The girl was in 7th, so she was a year under me, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So how did this even occur, girl? I don't even remember when it came to like the conclusion where like, oh yeah, I like women and men. Like that Ariana Grande song. Yeah, I don't remember. The thing is that I was very much closeted, okay? And I didn't know. I didn't know. Okay, I actually have another story with I have another story of like how it came to, because it didn't just happen out of nowhere. This was very much present in like 5th grade, okay? But I was officially comfortable with it when I was in 8th grade. Yeah, 8th grade. Okay, so I guess that's another story. I just have so many stories. And I would have to be quick with them though, because I don't want these people pulling up and being like, girl, we're fighting. Yes, how did we meet, you say? On Instagram, just like any other person would have met. Back then in the day, Instagram was growing more popularity. The two big things I think were like Facebook and Instagram. Snapchat was going up there very slowly, but it was basically Facebook and Instagram. I guess I just followed her like mutually, and then sometimes she would say she was bisexual and sometimes she would say she was lesbian. I never found a problem with that, but now that I'm thinking, I was like, okay. We connected through there. I was very flirtatious, not gonna lie. Through like every time she posted something, I would always say something cute and quirky, da. And then we started talking. We were like, hey, like we actually go to the same school. Like let's meet. Now, if you thought me having heart palpitations for men was bad, me doing that for women was even worse. 10 times worse, because if my mom found out I was talking to a woman, I was scared, okay? This was not okay in the eyes of my mom, right? And actually, I got caught once, okay? But that, again, is another story. So many stories, okay? I'm gonna have to write all of this down. My first major romantic pursuit towards a woman happened with this girl, okay? I'm not gonna drop names. Should I drop names? I don't know, because I doubt she'll see this. I doubt she even cares. I was gonna say something, but we're gonna leave that to the end. Yeah, I mean, I guess, yes. That's my story and how we met. Texting, we met up. I don't remember the first time I saw her, whatever. I like literally don't remember. But yeah, we met and we hit it off, and then we started dating on November 12th of 2014. And that is the beginning of a very unique, do we even call it love story, romantic story? I don't know. But this experience with her changes. How do I even begin this? Okay, it was just so impactful because, mind you, I was like, 13 and she was 12? I don't know. But in those ages, 12, 13, 14, I don't know, whatever happens to you on those ages that just impacts you, and it's like rooted in you. Like every time I think about my middle school years, I immediately think about that relationship. It lasted until I was a sophomore in high school. 8th grade to sophomore in high school, but we had breaks. Breaks. I want you to remember that, okay? We had breaks. I think you know where I'm going with this. Hi, it's me again. But I'm in a different location. Let me get my microphone ready, okay? So, also my hair is wrapped up. You know the deal. Yeah, you know the deal. So, yes. This was also during the era where, to be honest, and rates, like, were, and like, do you guys remember Who Do You Look Good With? When people would literally ship you with other people? Whoa, okay. Yeah, so it was during that era, and I think actually one of those things sparked our conversations even more. And yeah, so that was the beginning of our relationship. Again, we never hung out, ever. Literally, she would only see me at school, and then this was actually the first person that had a problem with it. Like, the other two guys had no problem with it whatsoever, that they didn't get to see me, which is very, I don't know, like, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm shocked. But back then, I guess people valued, like, conversation more. I don't know. It was very cringy, like, middle school relationship, like, you celebrate every month, you post each other every month. What's it called? Women Crush Wednesdays. Also a thing. Every Wednesday, she would post me or I would post her. It was very, like, out there, and then everyone knew. My friends knew, her friends knew. Like, she had, like, a bigger group of friends that, like, wanted to be friends with me. And, like, they follow me on Instagram and all that stuff. And they were, like, they're actually very sweet people. I think at the end of the day, well, not the end of the, you know what I mean? At the end of the story, I have, like, two of her closest friends. Well, back then, I still have two of her closest friends, on Instagram and on Facebook, I think, maybe. And they're very sweet to me. But I think they all had, like, a friend fallout. And friend fallouts were serious, especially if they were your middle school friends. Like, I feel like middle school is, like, when you establish, like, these are my people, and then you move on, and then these are your people for high school. Unless something bad happens. I don't know. Was she messy? I'm gonna give you foreshadowing. Yeah, probably. I mean, anyways, we go on, and here's where everything changes. I have my friends. Okay, wait, actually, no. So, every time I got out of school, I don't even remember what time I got out of school anymore, because they kept changing it every year. I got out of school, and I immediately went home. My mom was so strict with me that every time I literally stepped foot outside of the school, I had to take out my phone and call her and be like, oh, ya salí de la escuela. And she'd be like, okay, be careful walking, okay? And it wasn't a long walk. It was probably like an 8-minute walk, maybe. She was very, like, keeping tabs on me. So I could never even stay, like, 5 minutes, like, after school, because then it would impact, like, the time I got home, and she'd get really suspicious. And the last thing I needed was my mom getting suspicions, okay? Sleep. People would hang out, you know, in the back of the building, whatever, in the little park. What is it? I don't know. The blacktop is what we had. We had, like, a court. She'd be like, could you walk me, like, at least over there to the corner? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. I mean, I guess, girl. But I was always with that anxiety. Like, I think that my anxiety was so bad during middle school because I was hiding so much. Yeah, so I would leave, okay? And I'm saying this because it has an importance to it. Hold on. I would leave. And then my friends, my middle school friends are the real ones. I only have in contact, like, one, my bestie. And then the others, I have them on social media, but we don't really talk, okay? And that's okay. They tell me why. I go to school the next day, and my friends, wholeheartedly, they come up to me and they're like, are you and so-and-so still dating? I was like, yeah. And they're like giving each other looks, and I was like, what? Why? Yeah, I was like, yeah, what? Why? What's up? And they were like, oh, 'cause we saw her yesterday, like, making out with another girl. Yeah. My heart started beating really fast. Again, like, I really was not, I cared about more or less the people that I was talking to, but this is the first time I've been in this situation where someone tells me, heart to heart, oh, this person is cheating on you, okay? And it's already happened to me, right? But they told me, and I was like in shock. And okay, again, I'm sorry, I keep like losing track of what I'm trying to say. So they told me, and then I was like, oh, and then so I was just left in an awkward stage. I was like, okay, I'll deal with it, I guess, later, question mark, and whatever. And so, but I was stupid, and I like never asked her about anything, and we just kept going, I guess. But then, you know what? I pretended like it didn't hurt my feelings, pretended like it was okay, like we still texted. And you know what we texted on? We texted on Kick. Yeah, Kick, iconic, yeah. And so we broke up like 2 months after, but she was like, oh, it just, I'm pretty sure her excuse was like, oh, like we don't hang out and it just feels so disconnected, da 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 da. Blaming it on me, okay, sure, yeah, I mean, as if you weren't cheating, hell yeah, just like break it off, whatever. And at first, actually, I was sad because, I don't know, I mean, I guess because, like I'm saying, like, these are new feelings, and you're sad when they have to end. And not only was I like, oh my god, like I keep getting cheated on. At this point, I was like, what is that pattern? Why are people like this? So whatever. I guess again, this is the start of a pattern. We broke up, right? Whatever. I wasn't really looking for anything. Just pushing on through life, and then we got back together again. And this was like towards like the end of like the school year, so it was really awkward because we would see each other in the hallway, so we'd be like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? But our friends were always super sweet to me, and that I think was a good sign that I wasn't the problem. But her friends were always sweet. They were like, hi Xenia, and they were so cute. Whatever. So we date again, but then we break up again. Like, I think it was during the summer though, so I really didn't care. I was doing my own thing during the summer, you know. Fast forward to freshman year. We got back together again. Why? I don't know. She was in 8th grade and I was in high school. But I said, hold on, wait. I said that we were 1 year apart. So obviously it was a little funky, okay? Admittingly, it was a little funky, but we were only 1 year apart, like in age difference. But it is really weird to say, oh, I was in high school and then she was in 8th grade. You really have to pay attention to the details there, girl. We were a thing again, but now I had a little bit more freedom to do stuff. So I could hang out a little bit after school. We went on a date once. Oh my god, I'm remembering. My uncle, he once gave me $100 and I broke it at KFC when we went on our date. And it was the most awkward thing. It was the most awkward thing. Because one, I was worried that they weren't going to accept my $100 bill. But two, you know when you're just starting to talk to someone and you're like so insecure about anything normal that you do, you get insecure about the smallest things, like even eating, right? Because at first you get shy at like eating in front of people. That's exactly how it was. And mind you, this was like finger food, so it was even worse. That was random, I guess, but I think that was the only time we ever hung out. Like, we never went out anywhere else. You want to know what I did? I cheated. Cheated on her with another, well, okay, I don't know their pronouns now, but I had another significant other, partner, yeah, significant other, after like we broke up the first time, but we were just flirting, like we were never anything official. And then I cheated on her with this person again, with my past flirty experience. I don't know, but yeah, I was flirting with them, and I even hung out with them, and I think I even kissed them. Yep. I mean, I guess karma, I don't know. And again, we broke up for whatever reason, like, oh, it feels weird, and we're in 2 different schools, and da-da-da, we don't really see each other. I was like, yeah, tough. We broke up, okay. And then, immediately after we broke up, there was this other guy, okay, but this isn't about him, okay? There was a guy, whatever, we broke up, da-da-da-da. I got back together with her. The last time I got back together with her was probably, like, toward the end of freshman year, going into sophomore. I don't remember, because I did say sophomore, right? I don't know, my timelines are messed up. She was very insecure about our relationship for whatever reason. I mean, she never caught me cheating, so it wasn't like I gave her a reason to. But she was very insecure. She was always thinking like, oh, like, you're always hanging out with other people and this, and that. This is the important part. She made me stop talking to my bestie. Raisa, if you're seeing me on this, I never formally apologized. She made me stop talking to my best friend because she was like, oh, I don't think your friends like me and that makes me uncomfortable. And it just, like, every time you're with them, I just know, like, they give me dirty looks. And every time I see them in the hallway, they give me dirty looks. And I'm like, what the hell? And I'm not confrontational, so, and I was stupid and delusional, so I just, like, believed everything she said. So I stopped talking to my number one bestie. Yeah, and I felt really, really bad. Rule number one in any relationship, don't let your partner tell you, oh, you can't talk to these people anymore. Unless they give you a valid reason, okay? And that wasn't a valid reason. And I honestly, on my part, I should have investigated more, like, whatever. I'm just going on here. I stopped talking to my bestie. And then she continues with her insecurities, like, oh, like, you take too long to respond. Like, I just know you have hoes, LOL, LOL, LOL. Like, she was so sarcastic. She was a Scorpio, I think. Pretty sure she was a Scorpio. She was the first Scorpio I dealt with, and she was so annoying and insecure, and but me, obviously, being delusional, I was like, okay, yes, I'll do whatever you tell me to do, but if you stop complaining, honestly, stop complaining. She eventually tells me, oh, I just feel really insecure because you have a lot of followers on Instagram, and I just don't know how to trust you. Okay, here's the solution. Have my Instagram passwords, have my Snapchat passwords, da-da-da-da-da. She was like, oh, okay, yeah, thanks. And she would go on my social media, actually. She would go on my Instagram, and then I think she one time went on my Snapchat, because when you log into your Snapchat on another device, it immediately kicks you out from wherever else. So it happened to me once. At the time, we used, like, the word head ass. Do y'all remember using head ass? Like, oh, I'm so head ass about you. Anyways, yeah, so she had access to everything, basically. And do you think she felt secure? No. She just kept putting excuses like, no, like, you have this, and that, and you have so many people, you know so many people, and so many people know you, and you're basically, remember when people used to say Facebook famous? That's what she would tell me I was. I'd be like, no, I just know a lot of people, damn. And mind you, like, look at my hair so tangled. What the biggest red flag was that I don't know how to say this. I don't want to say she made me delete my socials, but she was complaining so much about my social media that I was like, fine, like, if you want, I'll just delete it. Is that what you want? Does that make you feel comfortable? And then she was trying to gaslight me and be like, no, like, I don't want you to do that because it's your life, and then. But she was gonna keep nagging me on about it. So I was like, okay, fine. Look, yeah, I deactivated everything. I sent her screenshots and everything that I deactivated my Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, literally every single thing I deactivated, just so that she would get off my booty cheeks about it. Down. She was like, okay, that's fine. And then I guess things proceed as normal. But then what gets funny is that we stop communicating. She literally, okay, we were texting on iMessage now. But then, all of a sudden, we don't text during the day at all. Like, I text her at, like, I don't send her good morning. She doesn't send me good morning. I always text her when I come back from school. And she would respond, but it would be quick, and then that's it. And then as months went by, like, the responses were not there. I would respond, hey, babe, I just got home. How was school? No response until late at night. And this, I cared about her so much, and I already invested so much to us, basically, and I felt like I was getting, like, emotionally manipulated, because my anxiety was bad every single time I hit send on that text, that after school text. I was literally shaking, and I was so anxious about, like, oh my god, is she gonna answer me today? And then I would literally force myself to go to sleep. I would force myself to go to sleep so that I could wake up to a notification. And can you imagine how disheartened I was when I woke up from my 3-hour nap and there was no notification? Do I still hold resentment? Yeah, because you made me waste my time, girl. If you're watching this, yeah, you made me waste my time. We did end up breaking up, okay? Because I was like, yeah, this is not working out. But you want to know what? She had a whole ass girlfriend and posting her and all that shit on her social media. And I was like, I'm so stupid because she literally was nagging me so much to get rid of my own social media so she could do whatever she wants on hers. Like, okay. I was like, yeah, no, this isn't working. Sorry. LOL. By the way, cheating on you. Okay, I never told her I was cheating on her, but I was talking to another guy. We broke up, and I was infuriated when I found out that she was doing that shit, and then I immediately reactivated all my accounts. So yes, in the end, stopped talking to each other. And you want to know what? During this point in time in high school, we still did those, like, trends where they were like, oh, I don't know, where it was like the ABC thing. And then she reposted something like, oh, put the initials of people that you regret dating. And guess whose initials she put? Mine. Hello? If you regretted it, then why didn't you break it off in the first place? Why were you so scared? It wasn't like I was, like, giving her money or whatever, so there was, like, no benefit whatsoever of me, like, blowing up her phone and her giving me anxiety for no reason. It's just like, whatever. I'm having fun. I rekindled my friendship with my bestie, and I told her I'm sorry. I think. Did I tell you sorry? I think I did. I don't know. Or maybe we just rekindled it randomly. I don't know. But yeah, she's a real one. She went on, finished high school, I guess. She was class of 2020, so she didn't get a graduation. And all I can say is, haha, in your face. Let's see, what is it, like 2020 maybe? I don't know. She, on social media, was still like, oh, like, I'm a lesbian, lesbian. All of a sudden, one day, she posts a sonogram. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, a sonogram. Baffled. What you said you were, but whatever, you can change, sure, yeah, but, like, she was just so adamant about what she was. And to this day, she's posting, like, oh, I need a real one. Like, oh, it's cuddle season. And yeah, she's that category of cringy. And that is my story. Thank you for listening. More stories coming soon.